The views expressed on the following program are not necessarily those of WPSL, but you are encouraged to like and share them on Facebook. It's time now for Joanne's World of Nutrition, brought to you by Nutrition World on US 1 and Fort Pierce, across US 1 from the Fort Pierce City Hall. And now, here's your host, Joanne Augusto.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Thursday. I hope everyone's having an amazing morning. I love these mornings that start real cool, kind of trick your brain a little bit, like are we in the hot days or the cool days? And
wear a sweatshirt to work and then have to take it off about 11 o'clock.
And with a bathing suit. Yeah, and with a bathing suit or a tank top. Yeah, hysterical. Well, I definitely love the cooler mornings, and I would definitely try to take advantage of them and go for a nice brisk walk in that early morning sun and just enjoy this while we have it, right? Because right around the corner is those humid mornings, a little sweaty. Those are when I don't even bother putting a stitch of makeup on. It just seems like it melts right off. So this morning, we must begin with the breathing exercise. So if I have any newbie listeners, this is really simple. We're going to do this every Thursday morning, and I am hoping it's contagious and you want to do it all day long. And so it's extremely simple.
There are no dangerous side effects, by the way.
Yes, no side effects, and all can do this with their eyes closed if they're at home, eyes open if you're in your car. So Cliff is going to walk us through this with the count, but for a breath of 5, only using your nose. Okay. Breathe in for 5, hold for 5, and exhale for 5. And we start with a really quick exhale out to get all the junk out of us. Okay. So without further ado, Cliff, breathe out.
It's all gone. Now breathe it in slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And release. Yeah, now you want to release again? Okay. Let's do that one more time.
Yeah, and I'm going to talk to them as you count for them, okay?
Okay, on the inhale, here we go. 5, 4,
so as you're doing this breathing exercise, I really would love for you to relax your neck muscles, relax your shoulders. And this is available to all of us, no matter what our health issues are at the moment. These deep type of breathing exercises are going to help you get focused. It's going to lower blood pressure. It's going to release stress. It's going to give your body the oxygen it needs to heal. So it's extremely critical. And even though it seems so innocent, doing this all day long instead of shallow breathing will really help your health. And remember, every little step you make does add up. So whether it's a breathing exercise a day or increasing water or get out for a nice brisk walk when you first wake up, it all will add up and it will make a positive impact on your health. And today, I am so excited, Cliff. I am so excited.
You have a guest.
I have a guest. So I was so blessed to meet him on Monday evening for a private health food store owner education dinner.
That only health food store owners can enjoy.
Well, I guess and employees too. Oh. So yes, I brought Jennifer, and he was so amazing. He definitely radiates health. He loves it. You can see he lives it. The desire, the passion for health is there. His name is Dave Barton, and he is the national educator for Mercola premium products. Now, I'm not sure how many of my listeners know Dr. Mercola, but I am a huge fan, so I am so thrilled that Dave is giving some of his time because he's super smart, and we're going to really let him talk this morning. But if you want to call in, if you have a question about Dr. Mercola or Dr. Mercola products, that's fine. But he has so much info to share, so we're going to really try to get through it with maybe one commercial break at the half hour, okay?
All righty.
So, good morning, Dave.
Hi, good morning. How are you doing?
I'm wonderful. Did you have a safe trip home?
I did. Thank you very much.
Awesome.
I was exhausted when I got back, but I'm rested up now.
I'm sure us Florida retailers can really, tire you out. But so you covered all the ground and you educated us, and I am just impressed by that. In 33 years, a lot of companies have given up their education part of their corporate structure, and it's just kind of disheartening, because we need education not only as retailers and business owners, but that way we can spread the accurate message of these companies to others. And so I am so thankful that you are involved with Mercola, because Dr. Mercola, I am a huge fan, and to have someone like you that really walks the talk and researches and and you have a bachelor's in holistic nutrition, correct, Dave?
Yes, I do.
Yes, awesome. So, you have the credentials, you have the desire, and you actually live the lifestyle. That's a combination that is few and far between. So I'm so glad you're with us this morning. And do you want to just give us a background from your journey in health and how you came to be with Dr. Mercola's company?
Sure, thank you. When I was 12 years old, my mom and late stepfather had read the book Fit for Life, and they changed our diet and basically lifestyle eating patterns overnight. We became vegetarians and fruit in the morning, and I sort of lived that way pretty much for the next 13 years. Of course, getting married, changes some of the good decision-making processes, and you kind of speed things up and you look for convenience, and that actually hurt both my wife and our health, especially her. And so we really started to become a little bit more balanced, and ultimately I was studying even more nutrition and was working in the nutrition industry with another company, and that's really how I got involved with education. I love teaching. I love sharing the things that I learn, and I've seen dramatic changes in both Kim, my wife, and I, and improvements in our health since those early days of our marriage. And now I get an opportunity to work with Mercola, and I absolutely agree with you too. I am very, very thankful that there are still companies like that see the importance of education, and he is an extreme educator. I mean, there are 250,000 articles on health and nutrition on Mercola.com. It's a great place to start a foundation. If you don't know much about health, you want to know more about your body and what's going on, really, even in the world on health and nutrition, check out that website. And it was been a great foundation for me, and they always have my back when it comes to education.
Yes, I mean, on social media, I'm not much on social media, and I kind of criticize myself. I want to really step that up. But one thing I do check daily is Dr. Mercola's page. It's amazing how up-to-date with research he is, how he really, from the beginning, it's almost like 15 years now that he has a huge presence on social media, right? I think it's like 15 or 13 years. I think it's 13 years that he became like huge on social media, which to me was like the first pioneer that would really step out and speak the truth on social media.
Well, he's been around. He's been doing it since 97 or 98. But I think you're right. I think he really began to really get more known, especially with his books. And then you had mentioned about putting your life or putting your money where your mouth is. He has really stepped up to the plate and trying to, identify many of the misconceptions on health, many of the misconceptions on the use of drugs and whatever. He's right out there in the front in what's going on in the industry.
Yeah, you know what my favorite post that he made, and I'm not actually sure how long ago it came out, but the 3-minute workout. Have you tried it yet?
No, not yet.
Okay,
no.
So I literally started it the end of October. And, some of my friends kind of like laughed at me. They're like, oh, come on, what can 3 minutes do? But I love Dr. Mercola so much, so pretty much I hang on his every word. So on the YouTube video, which basically one of his YouTube videos shows him just doing the quick definition of what he's about to do and then speeds it up, and then he has another video where it actually goes the whole 3 minutes, so you do it with him. I literally couldn't even keep up with the one that you did it with him. 3 minutes. He's so intense. That man is like the picture of health and stamina. But I always advocate it because it's 3 minutes 3 times a day. Who can't commit to that? And, showing that it will strengthen the heart and the blood vessels and release stress. And he talks about it from the sense of, reversing heart disease and strengthening the heart, of course. But It is intense. It's like the most intense 3 minutes I think I give myself a day. So,
that's cool.
Yeah, so you have to start doing it. You would love it, and you would probably be able to do it the way he does it from the very beginning. It took me, he mentioned on the YouTube video that wait like 2 months to introduce weights to the 3 minutes. And I was like, please, I can do weights right away. It's 3 minutes. But there's no way. And I did wimpy weights when I first even started because it was, so give that a try because I think you're going to love it.
Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, I'll look for it. In fact, I just pulled up YouTube really quick and typed in Mercola 3-minute workout, and the first 2 or 3 videos are all him. So it's got to be one of those.
Yeah, it's the one, it says nitric oxide dump. That's how it's, That's the title one.
Great.
Yeah, I know he's wearing green workout clothes.
Yeah.
All right, well, for everyone listening this morning, there's a great special at Nutrition World to go along with this awesome radio program. So we got in Dr. Mercola's 2 amazing books. Cliff is going to post a picture with the show after when it's posted on social media.
Fancy editing skills.
Fancy editing. But basically at the store, we have many copies of Dr. Mercola's 2 famous books. The one he's most famous book is, the most recent famous book is Fat for Fuel. And then, Dave, what is the name of the recipe book?
Of course you asked me that.
I know. Oh, am I putting you on the spot? Okay, well, it's Fat for Fuel's recipe book. So, and it's amazing. Jennifer has gone through some of the recipes already. She says it's absolutely amazing. So we have those brand new books at the store. So all the listeners, anything they purchase today in the Dr. Mercola line is an extra 10% off besides the regular 10% off. And the first 6 people in the store get one of his books free. So definitely try to make it to the store today to check out Dr. Mercola's products. And so, Dave, I don't know where you should start because the other night I was hanging on your every word. So do you want to start with just the keto system in general, or where do you want to start?
Yeah, sure. That'd be great. In fact, the name of that book is Fat for Fuel Ketogenic Cookbook. And I
was pretty close. Okay.
Yeah, you were really close. I was so busy looking at the pictures in it of the food, I never actually looked at the title.
Oh, yes, it's true. Oh, great graphics on that cover. I mean, yes, very yummy.
They did a phenomenal job with it, that's for sure. Well, nonetheless, when you think about fat for fuel, that's really the basis of it is increasing healthy fats in your lifestyle and decreasing empty sugars, basically, which almost seems like a no-brainer, like who shouldn't be doing that already? But unfortunately, the standard American diet is just the opposite of that in so many cases, where it's very low-fat, high-sugar intake, and we see a lot of symptomatic issues that are happening in the U.S. right this second, even with our young people. I think you and I had actually been talking about having more teenage cardiovascular disease in America than anywhere else in the world, and really could it be associated with their diet?
Yeah, child obesity is scary. It's just incredibly rising. I didn't even learn about it 33 years ago in nutrition school. I have nothing about child obesity.
It's really sad what's happening and the lack of good education. But fortunately, like with Fat for Fuel, a lot of people think of being ketogenic and they're thinking about losing weight. And that is really a side effect of that type of diet. But the focus of living that type of lifestyle and a ketogenic lifestyle is more about protecting your mitochondria. And that's what I found so fascinating in the science of it, is that your mitochondria are basically the generators of your body for making energy. And really, the more efficient they are and the more effective they are at making energy, the easier it is for every other biochemical process of your body to be active and to be well and to be healthy. And hey, by the way, you happen to also lose weight. Typically, you lose fat when you choose this type of lifestyle or diet. So
Dave, I'm just going to let the listeners know what the mitochondria is in case they're not if they're not sure. So the mitochondria is the center of every single cell. So like Dave says, it's really, really important. So just so you know, we all have them, and they're in every single cell. All right, go ahead.
That's a great point. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Yeah, they are the little generators of your cell. So that's where you're getting almost all of your power from. And I sort of think of it, when it comes to fuel and power, you might think of fuel sources on the planet as being clean fuel sources or dirty fuel sources. Dirty ones, many people associate with coal or diesel. Not that they don't make a lot of energy, they do, but they create a lot of pollutants. On the other hand, clean sources of fuel like wind or solar can also make a lot of energy, but they don't create near as many pollutants. And it's the same way with the body. As Dr. Mercola identifies in his book, Fat for Fuel, sugars seem to be the dirty form of energy because they create a lot of free radicals, which are damaging to the generator or damaging to the interior of your cells. And then, of course, obviously, fats for fuel seem to create fewer free radicals and thus potentially protect the cell, extend the life of the cell, and literally give more energy for life.
Yes, and again, he really stepped out of the box to get that, information to the public because we were so scared of fat and we were very misled that fat was extremely dangerous for us, and then we got sicker and sicker as a country. So I'm so glad that you're clarifying this now for all of us.
Oh, well, you're welcome. I'm glad to be a part of it myself. So if you were just to do the diet, lower the glycemic index of your foods dramatically and increase those healthy fats. Keep in mind, fats are calorie-dense nutrients. So if we just raise up the one end and we don't decrease the other end, we're still going to be in a calorie surplus and may not be achieving the goals that we want. So make those adjustments, make more energy for the body, feel better, reduce some of the nasty effects that sugars create too with inflammation, and you'll be off to the races, as it were, in feeling good. Now, there are a number of supplements, too, that might support you in this area. Joanne, were there any specific supplements that kind of stood out to you in this area when we were talking the other day?
Well, the one thing I definitely want to get in is about apple cider vinegar, because for years I promoted the liquid, really stressing, gut health and establishing proper pH, and that would just help the body be the miracle it is and make things work properly, and weight loss would be the side effect. But when you explained it, with insulin sensitivity, and that just opened my eyes to really why it helps with weight loss. So I would love you to start with, the different flavors and liquids you have and the pill, and how it does help not only with general health, but with weight loss as well. Because as we know, that's really everyone's focus.
Thank you. Yes, it absolutely should be. And so many things that I love it too. Though in the past, I wasn't a huge fan of vinegar, generally speaking, nor did I ever really drink vinegar as I recommend it now. But, when it comes to apple cider vinegar, and quite frankly, any type of fermented food, if you bare bones, eat more fermented foods. Fermented foods typically are easier to digest, provide more nutritional value, and in some cases even have a more medicinal type of effect on the body. And apple cider vinegar is one of those superfoods that we should be using every day. At a minimum, using apple cider vinegar just before bed has been shown to help insulin profiles by 4 to 6%. And what that means is basically you're becoming more insulin sensitive, or really you're more efficient at the way you use your carbohydrates, whatever carbohydrates they might be. Now, hopefully we're going to be on the lower end and not just eating chocolate cake and donuts all the time.
Have you been at my house? Just kidding. Totally kidding.
We all have our weaknesses. I know these things are tough. But whatever our choices are, the more sensitive we can be to insulin, the better those sugars will be processed in our body versus being stored as fat. And I think that's one of the most fascinating things when you look at the line of digestion and how insulin responds. When we overconsume sugars, it literally forces the body to store them as fat and create a very high level of cholesterol in that system. And when you shift that, reduce the amount of simple carbohydrates, lower the amount of insulin, we put ourselves in a fat-burning mode. And ACV, or apple cider vinegar, helps us to do that. Now, there are other components to apple cider vinegar too. As you mentioned, we do some different flavors. We have a blueberry, we have a honey, and we have a habanero. Now, don't be afraid of the habanero. I know it sounds like it's not everybody's in the habaneros, but you just get a little bit of heat, and then it cools right down. It's really a fun little drink to have in itself. But I would say, don't do apple cider vinegar shots raw. Always dilute it. It's very, very potent. You don't want to hurt your teeth or your throat. There's no need for you to be in pain. I know sometimes in our industry we think, it's hurting so good kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Like I tried it.
Yeah.
I did 3 shots all one after another. I thought I was going to die.
Oh, I know.
I wanted to try the flavors strong, so when I talked about them, I would know how to describe them. So, yeah. But I have to admit that other than the flavor of the mouth being, like, overwhelmed, my belly felt amazing that day. It felt so good. So
Isn't it incredible how quickly those types of foods react in our digestive tract?
Yep, and that's why I explain to people, even though it has a different chemistry to the tongue, and I know you're like an enzyme specialist, but it always confuses me how something can taste like maybe acidic or different on the tongue, but inside the belly it just makes it so happy, so happy.
Yeah. But I mean, really, within a couple of days, and even on the first couple of meals, a person feels better digestively. It's
awesome.
Very soothing, calming to that system. It's a nutrient that helps to heal, in many cases, that digestive tract. So,
Dave, just so you know, we have the music coming in because that means a quick 10:30 commercial, but it's going to happen in a second, and we'll be right back to you, okay?
Oh, sure.
You're listening to JOANNE'S World of Nutrition on WPSL.
Guiding the Treasure Coast in health, one person at a time. That's their motto at JOANNE'S Nutrition World, Suite 121, in the historic arcade building on US 1, downtown Fort Pierce. JOANNE brings more than 25 years of experience in the natural health industry, right here to you. Take advantage of this free personal guide to wellness and good health. Meet with JOANNE herself and get started. Nutrition World always provides you with the hottest new product lines, natural and homeopathic remedies, herbals, and best of all, expert advice from the people who care. Call JOANNE at 464-3598, 464-3598, and learn the correlation between diet and great health. Stop in today. The expert guidance to health is always free at Nutrition World. Nutrition World, Suite 121 in the Arcade Building, US 1, downtown Fort Pierce. WPSL Digital 1590 presents CBS Storm Track weather.
I'm meteorologist Lauren Oleski for CBS 12 News. It's a cooler start to our Thursday morning. A few areas dropping into the upper 50s to get us started, but most of us waking up to the low 60s this morning under a mostly clear sky and a light breeze. We'll see an east wind today around 15 to 20 miles per hour. Winds will pick up a little bit, though, heading closer to your Friday and into the weekend. Nice afternoon in store with highs in the upper 70s, staying mostly sunny to partly cloudy this afternoon. Our next weather maker is another cold front that approaches this weekend. It brings us a better chance of thunderstorms for the second half of your Sunday. I'm CBS 12 Storm Track meteorologist Lauren Oleski for WPSL Digital 1590, the talk of the Treasure Coast.
Weather this hour is brought to you by Seacoast Air Conditioning, your hometown air conditioning company since 1982. For repairs or a whole new system, call 772-466-2400.
Comfort crisis? Don't roast. Call Seacoast.
Word.
And now back to JOANNE'S World of Nutrition. Once again, here's your host, Joanne Augusto.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for listening this morning. We have the pleasure of having Dave Barton here with us. He's the National Educator for Dr. Mercola Premium Products, and we are in the midst of discussing apple cider vinegar to go along with any healthy diet, but Dr. Mercola is a big fan of the ketogenic diet, which I know is getting more and more popular every day. And anytime we take simple sugars or refined starch out of our diet, it's always a good thing, no matter how much of it we're taking out. It's always a positive result. So always strive to take sugar and refined starch and out of the diet. So Dave, all right, we definitely need to tell the listeners who are probably like thinking, oh, I could never drink apple cider vinegar, what Dr. Mercola just put out and is on my shelf.
Well, you're not alone if you don't feel like you can drink apple cider vinegar. Many individuals feel the same way. It's now in a capsule.
Yay!
You can get a high potency value of ACV in a capsule without the strong taste. And one of the things that I really love about it, too, it's got the cayenne in it. And again, I know cayenne is heat. It's not going to give you heat like you're afraid of, but that thermogenic effect is turning on the afterburner, so as to speak, in your body for metabolism. And it's wonderful for the cardiovascular system also. So if you don't like drinking it, at a bare minimum, use the capsules with meals to get more insulin sensitive.
Yeah, and there's many people that for years have been doing that combination in a glass, and it really can be too much heat for some people in their mouth. So this is perfect that they can swallow the pill, get those amazing benefits, but, no worries about the heat in the mouth. So I am so glad it's a company I can trust that now I have. So that's awesome. Now my second most favorite product that I start every single morning with is Dr. Mercola's MCT Fuel. So if you can talk about that in detail, because I know that a lot of my customers are so confused. Is it coconut oil? Is it going to make me fat? Is it going to increase my cholesterol? What is, the whole concept? So if you could really cover the MCT product and why his is special, that would be great.
Sure. Well, MCT stands for medium chain triglycerides. It's types of fats that we can find in different sources of fuel, and typically coconuts are considered medium chain triglyceride fats. So most MCT oils out there are blends of some type of either coconut or palm or other types of oils that give you these medium chain triglycerides. And if you look at them individually, some are known as C8 or carbon 8 chains or carbon 10 chains or carbon 12 chains. Well, our ketone energy is specifically the carbon 8 or caprylic acid fatty acid that you would get. Now, what does caprylic acid do for us when it comes to ketogenic diet and lifestyle is that caprylic acid, ketone energy, is literally the fat for fuel. So as you're mentioning, a person starts their day, they'll mix a little ketone energy in with some type of liquid. It might be water or coffee or a little tea. It's tasteless, it's odorless, so it's relatively easy to use with almost anybody that's sensitive to taste and odors in themselves. Though I will say, don't mix it with sugar. So it's not the type of product you mix with orange juice. Even if the juice is organic, that's still a natural sugar, and sugar is always going to get priority in the body when it comes to insulin. And insulin inhibits our ability to break down or utilize fats well. So ketone energy, first thing in the morning, you can start your day, you get those calories, put yourself in ketosis, no sugar added, and it's just the C8 molecule, caprylic acid.
And it really is a fantastic substitute for those very dangerous chemicalized coffee creamers. I know many of, even some of my extremely healthy friends, that's that one last thing in their routine that they find really difficult to give up. They just love starting their day with that slick, flavoring in their coffee. And so some tricks that you can do is you put the ketone energy in your coffee, and then you can add maybe like a sprinkle of cinnamon, or if you just want to put like 1 drop or maybe 2 in the stevia. Dave and I were talking like wonder, because the stevia has that sweet sensation on the tongue, if it still might interrupt with the pattern that where your body's going to burn fat for fuel versus the sugars. But if you really need to transition to a healthier cup of coffee, it would be great to transition with that, and then just blend it in a blender. And oh my gosh, it's like you're getting this amazing cappuccino, because the ketone energy, the MCT oil, definitely makes it creamy and smooth, and it gets frothy. So really try to make the first thing that you put in your body the healthiest of things. Don't put like those artificially flavored creamers in. They're really chemicalized, and there's nothing healthy about them, especially if they say fat-free, sugar-free. I would run. Don't even look at it. So, and I love, I learned so much about, the different carbon molecules from your talk as well. It had been brought to my attention a little bit earlier at my store, and I was so confused because I thought, okay, we could use all of them, but now you really simplified it where I understand how it's just so much more ready for the body to use. And also, too, it doesn't really upset your tummy unless you really start with a big dose. So I suggest if anyone's coming into the store today, buying that keto energy, which I hope you do, just start with a few drops in the morning, and then, each day increase. Right now, I'm up to about a teaspoon, but I do hope to get a tablespoon in. And I am pretty sure Dr. Mercola takes much more than that, but I can't remember from the reference. Do you happen to know how much Dr. Mercola takes a day, Dave?
Well, he's been using the caprylic acid since it came out, and he was probably even using it before he even developed the product.
Yeah, I'm sure. He always uses himself as a guinea pig, so it's awesome.
Yeah, his toleration for that fatty acid is very high. I wouldn't be surprised if he uses it at every meal, though I don't think he drinks coffee that often per se, but with tea or other types of liquids, he can consume caprylic acid no problem. One other benefit to it, and I don't know if I mentioned this in our training the other night, was that a caprylic acid is already in its simplest form, meaning you don't really have to digest it. So even a person without a gallbladder or that may be lipase deficient, struggle with digesting fats, they don't have to worry about our ketone energy. You literally just swallow it, and your body begins to absorb it. So there's not going to be like a gassy or burping effect. There's not going to be any pain or indigestion because you don't have a gallbladder. It's very, very easy to utilize by the body.
Well, you did mention, I think that's an excellent point, because gallbladder removal is getting scarily common. And so that is a critical thing, and our digestive system is not definitely where it should be at, which I definitely have to have you back on another show to talk about enzymes, because I know that by the time we're done covering the keto products, we'll be we'll need to have another show for enzymes. But the next product, I think a perfect lead-in with talking about easy digestion would be the krill oil, which any of my listeners might have known, which I confessed to you Monday night that I kind of downed. I was a krill downer, but you convinced me. I see the reasoning behind it and the eco reasoning. So if you could start with that, like why I was wrong, that would be great.
Oh.
I confess I was wrong because what I knew was from years ago, and I never updated my mindset. So we do learn new things every day. So it makes sense now, the way you put it, and I'm definitely going to be promoting it more. So let's talk about krill.
Well, do you think it would be more important to start with the way it works with the body, or the sort of the misconceptions on harvesting krill and affect an environment?
Well, I think we'll be able to have enough time to cover both. So you can start with either.
Well, usually I start a little bit with the misconceptions. One in particular is this idea that if we're harvesting, we as in humans are harvesting krill for usage, whether it's as a food source or a supplement source, are we taking away from other species on the planet? Because krill are sort of a foundational species for other animals. Well, if you check out the Marine Stewardship Council or Marine Stewardship Certification, that's .org or .com, that's an international program that monitors the harvesting of many different types of marine life out of the oceans, lakes, rivers of the planet. And it's not a U.S. base. This is an international program that does that. Well, our krill oil has this MSC certification and is being monitored. And what's being identified is that less than 1% of the world's krill is actually being utilized for human consumption. That leaves more than 99% available for other species, especially our whales, dolphins, penguins, whatever other species might eat krill, so that no other species are being endangered. But the point that stuck out to me the most, and I have been a fish oil user for many, many years, and I love the benefits of the omega-3s and whatnot, was this term known as bycatch. Bycatch is a term in our fishing industry. Generally speaking, it's not against any one fishing company, but when you accidentally catch something you didn't mean to. So if Joanne and I are out on the boat and we get a stingray or a turtle or something, that's bycatch, something you didn't want, and of course she or I, we would free it and send it back in the ocean. But unfortunately, in our fishing industry worldwide, the bycatch runs about 40,000 tons at a minimum. So those are all species that, unfortunately, again, are not kept alive. Many of them are destroyed inadvertently as part of just the fishing process. Now, what is the world's bycatch for krill? And I found this so fascinating. Take the whole world's bycatch for krill is just 200 pounds. If you're sitting at your computer right now, you could put 200 pounds on your desk or table, no problem. How is that possible? Because krill are so tiny, there's no nets. It's a vacuum system. So no large species animals like whales, obviously, or dolphins or penguins get sucked into the vacuum cleaner. The krill are sorted gently by this process, and any excess, what's the byproduct, are probably other types of bacteria or small types of shellfish, whatnot. So you have a species that is protective of the environment as well as sustainable to other creatures, or maybe I should reverse that, sustainable harvest with protecting other creatures. And I really love that about krill.
That made me so happy when you explained that. It really did, because I watch a lot of those documentaries about, the nets and the harm they do, and it's so sad to picture all that being wasted and all those, I can't even think about it. So yes, I'm so glad. I'm picturing this little tiny vacuum just getting what it needs. It's so much more of a pleasant experience.
But no little penguins are getting sucked in.
Yeah, and you keep saying penguin. You're killing me, thinking of a penguin in a net. Oh, my God.
I know. Isn't that terrible?
It is.
It does happen.
I keep thinking of the movie Happy Feet.
But the thing is, we know we want our omega-3s, and we all know how good fish is in general for our body. So how can we get the most out of our omega-3s? Now, I will say, again, I've been a fish oil lover for many years, but I look at the numbers on the krill, and they seem so low. And so here's the science. How does it really compare? Krill is a natural phospholipid, meaning this is another type of food that you don't have to digest. You literally just swallow it and you can begin absorbing it. So if you don't have a gallbladder or you're lipase deficient, you can process krill very easily. But it's seemingly low numbers of EPA and DHA at a bare minimum, because it's a phospholipid, are comparable to 4 to 5 times that of fish. So at a bare minimum, you can multiply all those numbers on your krill oil by 4 or 5 times, and that'll give you a general comparison shot. But here's the really, really amazing part. In some studies will identify that krill is 30 to even 40 times as potent as fish oil. And I sort of thought, come on, how is that even possible, right? 40 times versus 4 times? Well, it depends on what the study is really looking at. If they're looking at brain health, it really is that 30 to 40 times. Why? Because your brain always defaults to phospholipids if they're available. It's not that it won't use other types of triglycerides or fatty acids, but if phospholipids are there, that's what your brain wants. So brain development issues, brain injury issues, potentially brain inflammatory issues, krill might be your best option or a choice that you haven't given consideration to before. General inflammatory responses, I think you're getting much, much closer in balance to each other. But for specific use on the body and especially children with brain development in itself, krill is probably your best option.
Well, you know that my boyfriend and I are big into brain health and phospholipids, so right away he's like, did you get the krill? Did you get it yet? Are you bringing it home? And I was like, yes, the delivery came. The shelf is stocked. I'll bring you some home today. But the other thing my common sense is telling me right now is for so long, everyone would look on the labels of the fish oil I sell and see as far as the flavoring, because they commonly would burp it up. Is there any issue with krill?
No, well, because it's that phospholipid, that really shouldn't happen. There's no digestion involved. It's where we typically will burp something when we haven't digested it well. And the body's creating gases potentially in response to that. So that very rarely, if ever, happens with krill. Now, I will say, krill in its natural state smells terrible, right? You don't want to break the capsule. By the way, dogs and cats love it, and it is safe for them.
Oh, that's a good note. Okay, love it.
Yeah.
We have to care about our four-legged friends. Awesome.
Yeah, but humans don't want to smell it. So what does the Mercola brand do? We use a technology known as a Lee capsule, LICAP, and that doesn't allow any oxidation of the oil at all. So no oxygen can get in there. So your krill has real shelf stability and longevity and maintains its potency. But when it comes to that basic thought of smell, no oxygen gets in, no smell comes out. So comparatively, with the Mercola versus other types of brands, it may actually be tough to take krill out of a gel capsule with some other brands, but you're not going to have any trouble at all with our Lee capsule and the krill from Dr. Mercola.
That sounds amazing. Okay, I'm getting nervous. We're running out of time, so I think I'm going to have to pick the PQQ next, because I know I was pretty new to all that information, so I'm hoping that my listeners learn something as well. So, PQQ.
Yeah. That is one of my personal favorite products. I sort of think of PQQ as like sort of being the superhero for your mitochondria. So let's break this product down a little bit. First of all, the product name is berberine and PQQ. And that's literally what it is those two ingredients in that product, and that's it, berberine and PQQ. Berberine has an incredible impact on insulin sensitivity. So if you're dealing with blood glucose issues, or you're trying to become ketogenic and sort of reverse the standard American diet or the SAD diet in your life, berberine is going to help you to do that, right along with apple cider vinegar. So berberine is a great supplement in that category. Also, the PQQ, and Joanne, don't ask me how to say it. It's like 25 letters long, okay?
Trust me, I'm sticking to PQQ. Everyone knows that this is a casual show. It's all good.
Excellent. So PQQ is the superhero for your mitochondria in the sense that it reduces oxidation. So it's a powerful antioxidant on your mitochondria. That helps them with their longevity and their efficiency and making energy, and that's what we want. But here's really the incredible part about it. Your mitochondria have their own set of DNA different than your DNA. So when you think about DNA, that's sort of the blueprint on how to make your cells. So your cell uses its DNA to divide and make 2 new cells, and those cells will divide and they'll make 4 new cells, so on and so forth. Well, the mitochondria inside of your cells have their own DNA. They can replicate on their own. And PQQ can turn on that replication process. Literally, you can start making more mitochondria within your cells, and thus you have the propensity to make more energy. And so a lot of times what we'll hear is individuals say, well, I'm using PQQ and I feel like I'm having more energy, but I don't know why. Well, it's not because you're being stimulated. Like we feel good, we feel energetic when we drink coffee or caffeine. It's stimulating to the adrenal glands. You're feeling more energy when it comes to PQQ because literally you have more resources to make energy from. And isn't that what we want? And the more energy you have for life, the more energy you have for every other process of your body. There's never going to be a time in your life where you think, oh, I have too much energy. I wish I didn't have so much energy.
Yeah,
so
never.
So,
I will never say that. And you know what, too, is that everyone thinks that it just has to happen with the aging process, that the loss of energy, but that is so not true. And most of the things that we think of here in America for energy exhaust us, overstimulate us, and really ruin our adrenal system. So to have something that's as amazing as PQQ to give us energy, not have a crash, not ruin the most amazing energy systems of the human body, which is the adrenal system, is so good. And I'm going to tell you, I'm really going to dedicate myself to taking it to go off coffee. I didn't start drinking coffee till I was older in life, and I really kind of wish I never started, because I really rather rely on my own body to just be sufficient enough to give me the energy it needs. So I'm definitely looking forward to. Now, is there a general dose? Is it like one? I just got the boxes in, so I didn't get a chance to check. Is it like one per day?
Dr. Mercola is really good at figuring out dosage parameters and actually listing that right on the labels itself.
Okay, so they just have to go by the general label. Okay.
Exactly.
All right,
it's
awesome.
Probably going to be one capsule once or twice a day.
All right, so I know a nice complement to that is Ubiquinol. And so is that that's another product that came in by Mercola, and we have, I'm pretty sure, the 100 milligram and the 50 milligram, I'm pretty sure.
150.
150. Thank you, Dave. So can you tell us a little bit about Ubiquinol for the last 4 minutes of the show?
Sure. This is a product I personally use every single day, or at least every time I get my hands on. Ubiquinol is CoQ10, and your audience is probably familiar with CoQ10 in itself. Awesome for the cardiovascular system, does incredible work for your mitochondria. It is what helps your mitochondria to literally make energy. So when we are deficient in CoQ10, it's harder for your muscles, which are very energy demanding, to contract and relax. And guess which muscle is most affected? Your heart. So we want CoQ10 throughout our lives. Unfortunately, as we get older, it's harder and harder to process CoQ10 into its active form of Ubiquinol. And that's what the Mercola brand is providing, is the active form of CoQ10. It's not the cheaper form. It does cost a little bit more, but whatever the condition of your body is, you're getting the highest potency, especially in that 150 milligram capsule, for the benefit of your heart, your cardiovascular system, and literally making more energy. And again, that's Lee capsule technology, so it doesn't oxidize like other forms of Ubiquinol might in their products. So it gives us a lot of advantages.
Well, and I will definitely put myself out there to say, if you are on any cholesterol medications, I definitely suggest you do some research about adding Ubiquinol into your program. You will hear suggestions from a lot of doctors now about CoQ10, but CoQ10 is really difficult to utilize in the human body, so Ubiquinol would be a much wiser choice. So if you are on statins or any cholesterol-lowering medications, please consider this option. You really do need it no matter what, but especially if you're on those. And okay, I think we have 2 minutes. I think so you see why I need to have you back about the enzymes, because
Exactly.
yeah, and I can't wait to have you on about enzymes, because you are just a wealth of knowledge when it comes to enzymes. So I will. I know, right? Oh my gosh, well, right. We can't live without them, so we must discuss them. So Perfect. Well, Dave, I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart to not only being on the show with us today, but to educating for all these years and inspiring others and just, living that great lifestyle, you and your wife just advocating good health all around. So thank you, and I look forward to having you on again.
Thanks, Joanne. I hope you guys have a great day.
Thanks, you too. Bye.
Bye.
Everyone, thank you so much for tuning in today. And just a reminder, if you come to the store today and mention the radio show, you'll get an additional 10% off on top of the everyday 10. And the first 6 customers will get one of Dr. Mercola's books. So we have the Fat for Fuel book, and we also have the recipe book that goes along with it. And I didn't mention, but Dave is a vegetarian, and I am these days as well. And I just want you to know you can do a ketogenic diet and be a vegetarian. It's not just all about living on pork rinds and beef like some other doctors have promoted in the past. He really has stepped it up to really putting a lot of research and thought in a healthier version of the ketogenic diet. So thank you so much, everyone, and look forward to next week with you. Have a great day.
You've been listening to Joanne's World of Nutrition, located on US 1 in Fort Pierce between Orange Avenue and Avenue A, directly across from City Hall. Be sure to stop by Joanne's World of Nutrition, Joanne's Nutrition World in Fort Pierce. Archives of this show can be seen at WPSLTV.com on the World Wide Web.